Thabo, can you just tell our viewers exactly how old you are?
Thank you very much, Fifi. I'm 10:35 now, so I'm a 35-year-old, but when I was appointed, I was 34 years, which was last.
And what's the average age for deans in South African universities?
Oh, usually it's in your upper 40s, so anything between 45 and early 50s, because it's supposed to be a position really that you retire into. At least that's how most people view it.
So you're clearly viewing it as a position to build your career in further. Tell us about the plans you've got for the University of KZN.
So I'm very honored to be in this position. You know, being in a position of power, you have a lot of privileges. I'm deeply excited about the possibilities of uplifting the African child, and that's sort of the central focus really of who I am and what I do. So in this university, we want to make sure that we create a space where all our students feel included. We want to create a space where you can aspire for anything that you want to aspire to be. And we want to ensure that when you leave here, you can impact society. So we are in the business of preparing the next generation of teachers. We want teachers who are going to be who are going to be driven to change society. And you're going to be driven to make sure that they impact the communities that they work in. So from the curriculum that we have on offer to the social responsibility components, the extramural activities that you're going to have, we want to create or participate in nation building, ensuring that whoever we produce as a teacher in this institution is somebody that can go into society and impact society in a positive way. We know that teaching is looked down upon in society. We know that in particular education in South Africa is quite weak in comparison to our African neighbors, and also internationally when we write tests, we come to the bottom. We come in the bottom every single time. So we want to change that narrative. We're going to partner with government. We're going to partner with multiple stakeholders to change the narrative so that when we have teachers who come out of this institution, it's teachers that can actually impact society, that can change society.
And just tell me a bit more details about the plans you've got for your curriculum, because obviously right now we need to prepare our teachers to be skilled in preparing the children for the jobs of the future. How are you going to ensure that you do that?
So the first thing that we're prioritizing is what we call curriculum decolonization. So we have to understand that we are located in the African context, and our curriculum has to be reflective of the various viewpoints, various knowledge that exists in Africa. So we cannot exist as if we are located in Europe. This notion that we must be teaching a curriculum that is taught in America or in England, is highly problematic. We must understand that we have a context where we have rife poverty, we have rurality. So how is our curriculum speaking to preparing teachers for teaching in a rural context for the child that does not have resources? So we're taking curriculum decolonization as the first entry point to make sure that when we have a teacher that lives here, they are able, or they've been exposed to the greatest thinkers in Africa, that they've been exposed to sort of the knowledge that is from Africa. We're not actually saying that we're going to erase Eurocentric knowledge altogether, but we're saying that there are multiple knowledges that exist, if I can use that word. And so we must be able to locate African knowledge within the space of these varied knowledge components that are there. So that's a first thing that we're driving. But linked to that is an understanding that our system actually is also failing. So we can't just focus on pre-service teachers. We must also look at in-service teachers in the areas of mathematics, in the areas of the literacies. You know, the recently, it's not longer recent, it was a 2017 study that was released last year that was looking at the literacy levels of grade foundation phase learners. I think it was grade 4, if I'm not mistaken, and it was suggesting that our kids cannot read. Right? We in the 50 countries that participated in the study, South Africa came last. So how are we enabling teachers who are in the system already to have the requisite skills to be able to teach our kids to be able to read? So we're going to be having programs that are also looking into the literacies. But also you've already mentioned it. We have to look at preparing teachers for the future, for the skill set that is required in the future. You know, we're in the 21st century. And that means technology is going to be in the forefront of what we do. So we are looking into how do we prepare teachers who are able to teach using current technologies that are going to be innovative, that in fact that will assist them in innovation within the classroom. So creating individuals that are not looking also for employment, but who could also be employment creative. So that's the ultimate focus of our work at the moment.
I mean, Thabo, just to bring it back down to a personal level, I imagine you had to be quite brave in order to, you know, apply for a job at the level that you have at your age. Just advice for young people who are also trying to, you know, climb the ladder a lot quicker than their parents. What are some of the skills, but more importantly, mentally, what are some of the things that they need to ensure that they have to take on this task?
You know, one of the things that was the most difficult for me was having the belief that I can actually perform this job adequately. You know, even applying for the position, I had to have colleagues who pushed me into or encouraged me to apply, because I could see the potential in me, which I couldn't actually necessarily identify almost immediately. Of course, I knew I had the skill set. Of course, I knew that I had the potential, but there is a particular inferiority complex sometimes that we have as young people, that because these positions ordinarily would be occupied by individuals who are near retirement, mainly white, you know, beard, gray beard, and things like that, and so you don't actually aspire for that immediately. But the most important thing that I think we must have is a self-belief. You know, we tend to doubt ourselves a lot as young people. You must believe in yourself that actually it's possible. Actually, you can do it. It's not age that makes one wise, but a whole range of skill set, and being also able to understand that you are not perfect as an individual. You actually need others who are going to complement you and who are going to work with you in seeing a particular vision. So I have a very, very good management team that works with me, that supports me in the day-to-day operations in the school. So that helps quite a lot. So I think it really is about preparing yourself and understanding that you need others in as much as you need yourself, but also that you have to have agency. You must not wait to be told. You need to innovate and to think critically and creatively, and identify the key issues that we need to address as society in the present day or in the present moment.
Well, Thabo, thanks so much for that word of advice. Congratulations once again. That was Thabo Msibi, who is the Dean and the head of the School of Education at the University of KZN.